Airline status. It's a lot like that feeling you have when you're gearing up to meet your friends out for margaritas. Only to wake up the next day with an extreme hangover, heartburn, wondering what the heck you were doing.
Where are we?
Most of you know what I'm talking about. All right, so if you're watching this video, I assume you either have airline status and you're just looking for some tips, or you're looking to see if I can convince you that airline status is worth it, and maybe that one of these cards will take you to the promised land. Status can be valuable, aside from that feeling of victory that you get when Group 1's called and you get to board the plane and you get to turn around and look at all the suckers still looking at their phones or at their boarding pass. Some of us do put a lot of thought and effort into achieving status.
I don't spend a nickel if I can help it, unless it somehow profits my mileage account.
And the airlines definitely know this, which is why American Airlines made over $5 billion in revenue last year from credit cards. Now there's common perks, priority boarding experience, free check bags, seat upgrades, and the fact that you can leverage your status with international airlines and get access to the international airport lounges, and you earn additional miles the higher up in status you go.
So what are you saving up for? Hawaii? South of France?
It's not like that. The miles are the goal.
Yeah, the miles are part of the goal. And these American Airlines miles can be so valuable for redemptions with some of the American Airlines partners. But can these Citi American Airlines cards help you get there? Now, there's been quite a bit of news recently about Citi taking over as the exclusive bank with American Airlines. And I've never really gotten into the Barclay cards, I guess because on every single American Airlines flight, I have to hear that terrible pitch about the Aviator Red and buying a cup of coffee or a stick of gum to hit the welcome offer. Just not my jam. So this puts even more of a spotlight on these Citi American Airlines cards. And there's a few options with Citi and American Airlines, and I'm going to dig in, share my experiences with these cards, and really show you how we can help elevate the value of them. So we're going to start at the top and work our way down. First up, the American Airlines Executive Card from Citi. I've held this card for a number of years, and hopefully I can share some of my feedback. On the surface, this does look like a premium tier card. Big annual fee, lots of credits and benefits similar to an American Express card. So let's take a look at that. First up, that $595 hefty annual fee. A lot for an airline card that doesn't earn a general travel currency, but this does earn slightly better than most of the other airline cards. 4x on American Airlines flights, 10x on hotels and car rentals booked in the American Airlines portal, and I'm going to get to that a bit more here in a minute. You do receive more of a priority experience from priority check-in lines at the airport to Group 4 boarding, which is the same as gold status with American Airlines. And then I mentioned some of the credits and the benefits. First up, that TSA pre-check or global entry credit. And then I mentioned some of those American Express-like credits. First up from Grubhub, $120. It's in the form of $10 per month. Next is Lyft. $120 from Lyft, $10 a month. You have to take 3 rides before this credit applies directly in your Lyft account. And then last, $120 from Avis or Budget that can be used at one time. Now there's also 2 10,000 loyalty point bonuses, and it is tough to place a value on loyalty points specifically, since loyalty points are the way that we earn status with American Airlines, but we can't redeem loyalty points for flights that we would use the miles for. And I'm going to show you some ways that you could earn 10,000 loyalty points for arguably less, but we'll get to that here a bit more in a sec. So why does this card come with nearly a $600 annual fee? Well, the main benefit or draw to this card is Admirals Club Airport Lounge access. Now that's for the primary card holder plus 2 immediate guests or immediate family on that same reservation. But for those of us that have visited Centurion lounges, Capital One, or Chase lounges, we probably have a bit higher expectations or standards with airport lounges. Now, if you're newer to the game, newer to airport lounges, I would say that Admirals Clubs are a nice entry point, and they have made claims that they're going to up their game with the Admirals Clubs here into 2025. Now, with this executive card, I am going to touch on a few more point stacking strategies here in just a few minutes, so make sure you stick with me. And I do have referral links down in the description below for this card and a few others. If you're in the market for one of these cards, make sure you check that out. So below this executive card, there's really not much to talk about. The Citi Platinum card from American Airlines is a nice entry-level card. Typically, they have a welcome offer where the first year annual fee at $99 is wiped out, and then it's $99 year 2 and beyond. Now, just a few of the benefits that come with this card: Group 5 boarding, which I guess is better than you're going to get if you just buy a ticket and don't have any status, and you do get free checked bags for yourself and your party. Now, that free checked bag perk has covered me many times before I was able to hit status with American. That right there can cover this annual fee. And when you combine that with right now the 75,000 American Airlines miles that come with the welcome offer, definitely worth it for an entry point into American. And then you could always upgrade to the executive card. The last perk, $125 credit after spending 20 grand on this card. Not even worth it. Not something that I would consider. And then last from American Airlines and Citi, the Mile Up card. Not really one that I would consider unless you're just looking to bank 15,000 miles and then work your way up the ladder. And there is also a business card from Citi and American. I do hold this card today. I'm happy to share some additional thoughts if you have any questions. Now, I wanted to treat this video less on a tutorial on the different levels of status with American and more about how we get there. But you can see here on the screen, there's 4 different primary levels of status: Gold, Platinum, Platinum Pro, and Executive Platinum. 40,000, 75,000, 125,000, and 200,000 loyalty points in order to hit each of these levels. And there's a few different thresholds in between with some other perks. But more importantly, it's how do we get there and what does this all mean? And that's where I'm going to talk about some of these different point stacking strategies and methods to hit these different levels. But do comment down below if you have questions about loyalty points versus miles or anything in between. So aside from earning miles and loyalty points for flights, there's some major ways to earn. And I'm going to touch on a few. Look, I'm not going to be able to touch on everything today, but I'm going to touch on some of the bigger, more popular areas. And I can certainly elaborate on some of this. I have a lot of experience in the space, so comment down below if you have any questions. But first up is the AAdvantage eShopping portal. Now, this is similar to Rakuten or Capital One Shopping, and there's tons of categories here, everything you could possibly think of, where you just click through the portal and it launches that website and then tracks your purchase. And then you earn miles and loyalty points. And it clearly will show you how many miles and loyalty points you're gonna earn. And just keep in mind, it's base miles and loyalty points, and then based on your level of status, there are some multipliers there as well. Now, some of the bigger categories where you're gonna see the best bonuses or best bang for the buck are a lot of the food subscription services like a HelloFresh or a Blue Apron, and there's ways you can stack this. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in just a second. And then your wireless phone services, AT&T and Verizon, you typically see 5,000 to 6,000 miles and loyalty points. I'm going to show you my biggest earn to date, and I've had a few that are similar, but Motley Fool is one that just about everybody who plays this game knows about. This was a $99 purchase for the subscription. It netted me 7,400 base miles and loyalty points. Now, because I was platinum status at the time, it's a 130% boost, so that netted me 9,600 miles, 9,600 loyalty points for a $99 purchase. Now, the beauty with this eShopping portal is you don't have to use an American Airlines Citi branded card here. You can use any card that makes sense for you. Now, I use my American Express Platinum because I had a $50 statement credit Amex offer at the time, so this $99 purchase only netted me $49 and spend. Now, typically I would use that Citi executive card for that, which is the premise behind this video. And the reason that I would do this is because I can stack Citi merchant offers with Simply Miles from American Airlines with the eShopping portal. So it's a 3-part stack where you can really truly get the most out of your dollar. Now, the other part of this stack is Simply Miles, which is part of the American Airlines program. There's a few differences here, and with Simply Miles, they do have a bunch of offers. You need to activate these offers, and you do have to have a MasterCard linked in order to take advantage of these Simply Miles offers, which is why I recommend a card like the Citi Executive Card, because you can stack Citi merchant offers with Simply Miles with AA eShopping offers. So that 3-way stack can get you 15 to 20x back on any of these purchases that you're already making today. Now, with Simply Miles, you have to have the MasterCard linked, but AA Dining is also part of Simply Miles. So you'll see your dashboard where it shows Simply Miles earning and AA Dining earning all in one. Now, with AA Dining, you don't have to have a MasterCard linked. So you could have a food card like the Amex Gold, earn your 4x membership rewards points on dining, and earn a starting 3x through that Simply Miles AA dining program. And that escalates over time. So you could actually earn north of 5x miles and loyalty points through AA dining. Now, there are some vendors where you can commonly find a way to stack Citi merchant offers, and Simply Miles, Lyft, and Walgreens being two that I see pretty often, which is a good way to maximize that $10 Lyft credit that you get with the Citi executive card as well. And there's a few examples where I have done the triple stack with Citi merchant offers, Simply Miles, and eShopping. And here's an example with TurboTax on how I did that. Now, with this example with TurboTax, I was able to activate a Citi merchant offer for $5 cash back as a statement credit with any TurboTax spend on the Citi executive card. I also activated a Simply Miles offer for 230 base miles and loyalty points. And then I launched TurboTax through the eShopping portal. So because of my status, the miles and loyalty points that I earned, the 30% boost on that platinum status, I netted 884 miles and loyalty points, plus that $5 statement credit for a purchase that I was going to make either way. So just a great example of a way that we could stack to earn miles and get all the benefits of that Citi executive card. Now, the third and final strategy that I'll talk about is leveraging AA hotels. And before I get into this, I would say go to your American Airlines account, make sure you link it with Hyatt. You can link it with other vendor partners as well. And with Hyatt specifically, you can earn base miles and loyalty points with any paid Hyatt stays. And if you're chasing status with Marriott or Hilton or anyone else, maybe this strategy doesn't make as much sense. So AA Hotels is another option to book hotels. And all the airlines like United and Delta also have these hotel portals and ecosystems. With this one, by leveraging your status, if you have it, gold or higher, plus any of the American Airlines Citi branded cards, you're going to earn 10x. So 10 loyalty points and base miles per dollar spent with any hotels. I'm going to show you my account here, the 3 different hotels where I've used this so far in 2024, and then some of the boosts that you get with status, like my Platinum status and Platinum Pro, you get a 130% boost on these points. So 6,300 base miles and loyalty points for this specific hotel ended up netting me over 8,100 miles and loyalty points. So this is a pretty convenient way if you're going to be staying at hotels like I used here, where I didn't leverage my status to stay at some other properties. Definitely was worth it for me. So one of the downsides here, you can't link a hotel loyalty account number, but the upsides to me tremendously outweigh it. With just a couple of pretty inexpensive stays at hotels, you could earn 20,000 plus loyalty points and base miles over the course of a year. So you can see within my American Airlines account, there's a good variety of the ways that I'm earning miles, and it's not just focused on flights. I do a lot of my everyday purchases like 1-800-Flowers, Instacart, and others to earn base miles and loyalty points. So the theme here, make sure that you're checking out where you can maximize or stack. If you have an American Airlines card, take advantage of Simply Miles, Citi merchant offers, and the eShopping portal. I hope you got some value out of this content. Make sure you're leveraging these point stacking strategies, redeeming these points for incredible memories. Holler at me if you have any questions, and until next time, cheers.